All right, Mirabai is going to speak to us today about Hanukkah and the blessings that it brings to us. And I love having you here every single time. Sorry, it's kind of a swivelly chair. Welcome, Mirabai.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everyone. I either need to move back, Mike, or you, could you, or it's just smothering me. Thank you. Good. Is that close enough?
Yeah.
Good. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Of all the things you could do, I appreciate you choosing to do this today. Thank you, Jenny, for always making such a welcoming space for me. So this was Jenny's idea, actually, and not just to speak about Hanukkah, because I'm not going to tell the Hanukkah story. A, it's boring. B, it's violent. And you can read it online. But instead, what we're going to do is reclaim, I'm trying to find a happy medium, some of the essential Jewish values that all people of all faiths and no faith might benefit from tapping into, that are at the heart of Judaism, in spite of appearances to the contrary in the world right now, and especially in the government of Israel. And I want to acknowledge that many people who were on a beach, and Jewish people on a beach in Australia yesterday, were killed by a hater. And so I want to just hold those families also in our hearts at the same time that every single day Palestinian families are being decimated. So how do we find what you all are doing here? What, Sandy, you're trying to do with your 100 monkey thing, your monkey business?
My monkey business. I love being in monkey business.
How do we keep doing it? One of the ways we keep doing it is even as I personally am really interested in dismantling the patriarchy in the form of the religions of the world that perpetrate so much harm in the name of God. I also know that at the heart of all of these great traditions is deep wisdom and potent medicine. And so that's what we're drawing on. We have the ability, I believe, to discern as humans where the medicine is and where the toxicity is in religions and in all other things, but I'm talking about religions right now. And so that's what I'm interested in doing with you. That's what we do. That's what you all do here at the Community of Love. And what I try to do when I bring a little something to the table is to safeguard the nourishing seeds that usually lie at the mystical heart of the world's religions, not so much the ecclesiastical or liturgy. Well, liturgy can be very powerful, but certainly not in the realm so much of dogma. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I want to start with a prayer by a great contemporary Jewish poet, I think, who died recently, Diane Ackerman, who was also a Buddhist. Not an uncommon combination. We have a name for it, Jew booze. This is, of all things, titled School Prayer. In the name of the daybreak and the eyelids of morning and the wayfaring moon and the night when it departs, I swear I will not dishonor my soul with hatred, but offer myself humbly as a guardian of nature, as a healer of misery, as a messenger of wonder, as an architect of peace. in the name of the sun and its mirrors, and the day that embraces it, and the cloud veils drawn over it, and the uttermost night, and the male and the female, and the plants bursting with seed, and the crowning seasons of the firefly and the apple. I will honor all life, wherever and in whatever form it may dwell, on earth my home, and in the mansions of the stars. School Prayer by Diane Ackerman. So when I say this was Jenny's idea, she came across this talk, I guess. Actually,
article.
I think it became an article. I think it became a book by a woman named Sarah Hurwitz, who was Michelle Obama's speechwriter, and who, like me, grew up in a non-religious Jewish family. Nominally, culturally Jewish, but otherwise really didn't have much exposure to the tradition, and embraced it as an adult as she began to investigate her heritage, and realized, as many of us who grew up in Jewish families do, that the core of the Jewish tradition, at least for modern American, probably European, liberalish Jews, is social justice. Now, that's what we grew up with, that doing right in your communities is the way you express your faith, because God's self is unknowable, can only be known through acts of loving kindness, chesed, and tzedakah, justice and generosity. And that was kind of it. So she went further in investigating these core values and decided that she distilled 8 of them and assigned one for each day of Hanukkah, which I thought was just so brilliant, and obviously Jenny did too. So she handed it to me and she said, "Here, do something with this." And so I did. So what I want to say before I go into those 8 values, those 8 core Jewish values that belong to all of us, is that what I don't like about Hanukkah is the glorification of violence. So there was oppression by the Syrian people, who, according to our legends, were trying to force the Jewish people to worship the Hellenic gods and the Greco-Roman gods and goddesses, and we wanted to stay true to our one God. And so they were pressing us, and an unlikely small group of dudes got together and killed them. And the miracle, of course, was that, I told you I wasn't going to tell the story, but here goes. The miracle was that we reclaimed the Holy Temple, and for the one, Adonai. And there was enough oil in the lamp, in the temple lamp, to last one night while someone was sent off to get more oil to reconsecrate, rededicate the temple. That's what Hanukkah means, rededication. And as they were going off on this long journey to get more oil, the little bit of oil in the lamp miraculously lasted for 8 nights as we rededicated the temple. So, of course, all the great world religions usually oppress or overthrow the indigenous traditions and then take the bits that they like because they resonate with the people. And Hanukkah coincides, as does Christmas, with what?
Solstice.
Solstice, the return of the light, the deepest darkness. How do we get through this darkest time? And ritual and candlelight and food and family and all the twinkling lights that we manufacture get us through these dark times. And the Maya and Aztec felt that this was an incredibly dangerous time, and it continued for a few days after the solstice. In fact, I think that was the most perilous period, right after the solstice, before everything turns. So humans have always perceived danger, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere, in the deep, dark cold, the killer cold of this season. So the indigenous people had all kinds of rituals, and the monotheistic traditions have adopted those rituals, at least Judaism and Christianity. But there is something beautiful about the rededication and the honoring of the light and the miracle of the light. And you can extend that to the light of Advent, or the pregnancy of the mother. Mother Earth is pregnant. Mother Mary is pregnant with the light of the world, who has not yet broken through. Such a potent season in all ways. In Buddhism, of course, Jenny pointed this out to me the other day too, the Buddha, his last words were, "Be lights unto yourselves." When he knew he was dying, he was on his deathbed, and they wanted him to tell them what to do, what to believe, how to go on without him. Sorry, friends, you have to be lights unto yourselves, but you get to be lights unto yourselves. Cultivate your own liberation with diligence, and then you will be a light to the world. And my friend Rabbi Rami Shapiro says that the one job of a Jew is to be a light in this world. That's what we're taught in the Torah. In the Quran, my favorite surah is the light of Nur. Nur means light in Arabic. And I just want to read you this one short passage from the surah of light. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. His light is like a niche in which there is a lamp. The lamp is in a crystal. The crystal is like a shining star, lit from the oil of a blessed olive tree, located neither to the east nor the west, whose oil would almost glow even without being touched by fire. Light upon light. Allah guides whoever He wills to His light. So, what are we at till 5 out of 10? So tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. So tomorrow's the first day of Hanukkah. Tonight is the first candle that we light. I looked it up. In Hebrew, of course, you read from right to left, and you set up the menorah, the Hanukkah, with the candles from right to left, but you actually light them from left to right. For those of you who feel like doing some version of this, maybe along with your Advent candles like we did today, what a beautiful combination, and it belongs to everybody. So for the first night of Hanukkah, Sarah Hurwitz came up with the value of Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam in the Jewish tradition, I know I've talked about it often in this community, and many of you are familiar with this teaching of Tikkun Olam. So it means, anyone?
Repairing the world.
Repairing the world. And the kind of progressive Jewish community has adopted this as kind of their main orientation towards social justice, but also environmental justice. How to do our part to heal the world. So this comes from the legend that Isaac Luria, the 16th century Spanish Jewish mystic, spoke about, reclaiming ancient Kabbalistic knowledge, that when the world was made, the Holy One wanted to know its holy self, and so it poured itself, they poured themselves into a vessel, actually multiple vessels, but for purposes of this parable, let's say one vessel, so that it could be contained, the vast magnificence, the holiness of the divine reality. But the radiance was too intense for any vessel, and it shattered, and the fragments of light and the fragments of darkness went in all directions. And so the Holy One created human beings to restore the vessels to wholeness. And the way we do this is through every act of loving kindness, chesed, and generosity, justice, tzedakah. And it even includes your kind and loving thoughts. You get credit for healing the world by thinking in kind ways. That is, whenever a nasty thought arises, which it does for all of us, for me, I would say 18 to 20 times a day. I don't know, that's just an estimate. I try to counter it, not because I want points, to get to heaven, but because I want to do my part to restore the vessel to wholeness, to restore the world, to repair the broken world. And so everything we can do, from the small to the bigger, from the sublime to the ridiculous, counts. Tikkun olam, what is your small part, or maybe a bigger part, in repairing the world? How's my sound? I ask halfway through my talk. Okay, good. Good. So compassionate action. In Hinduism, it's karma yoga. This is the path to God through action. In Buddhism, it's engaged Buddhism, which you could use for any religion. The second one is a word I've been using, tzedakah. Tzedakah in Hebrew means justice, but it also means charity. I like to replace charity with generosity. Tzedakah is a gesture or offering of something that someone else needs, whether or not it feels good or is convenient for you. I'm going to actually take back the feels good, because one of the artifacts of the patriarchy that I'm interested in busting is that you're supposed to give anonymously. It says it in Judaism, it says it in Christianity, I think it says it, it definitely says it in Islam, that we're supposed to give, and in Hinduism, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, act without attachment to the fruits of your actions. You've probably heard me give this talk before right here, but I say act with attachment to the fruits of your actions. Care with all your heart that what you offer matters and makes a difference. Okay. The next one, number 3, is chesed, another word I've been using that many of you are familiar with. Anyone? It's metta in Pali, in the Buddhist tradition. It's the same word, metta. Loving kindness. One word, all squished together. Loving kindness, chesed. So on the third night of Hanukkah, we'll do it right now, we're going to squish them all together. We will reaffirm the primacy of being kind and loving to the best of our ability in this world. That's the greatest jihad. In Islam, the word jihad, the secondary term is holy war or meaning, but the primary meaning is the inner striving to align ourselves with our highest, most loving values. It's the true jihad, is to activate loving kindness in our lives. Not so easy. The path of love here at the Community of Love, is not a fluffy path. It's not, let's all just get together and feel good and tell each other nice things. It's about girding our loins with love and entering the world as instruments. When it's so much easier to go down a different path sometimes, most of the time, much of the time. The fourth value is the infinite worth of every single human being. And being as it's the advent of animals, and there are many of us who are animal lovers in this room, I'm going to add the animals. I mean, not all, just animals, all living beings, all sentient beings. Okay, let's throw in the rocks and the mountains and the rivers and the oceans and the stars, the trees. the infinite worth of each being, let's say. In Judaism, and this is true in Islam as well, it's said that if you destroy one life, you destroy all life. And if you protect one life, you protect all life. How seriously can we take that one? And how many excuses are men in charge using to violate that essential code? So many excuses. A just war. The just war philosophy came from, I don't know, Augustine or one of those early Christian thinkers. So it's said that in Judaism, I don't think just in Jewish mysticism, I think throughout Judaism, I don't know if one of you all can correct me, that we all are born with a spark of the divine in our souls. Our neshama, our soul, is a spark of the divine. And so if we snuff that spark in someone else, we are violating our essential covenant with reality. So light again, the spark, the kindling of the flame. Every being has that flame of the divine burning in them. What right does anyone have to put out that light? Equality is number 5. That we all have the same family, the same mom and dad, ultimately. We all belong to the same earth. We are all begotten from that same source. And we are all the same. Thich Nhat Hanh called this the web of interbeing. I love the word interbeing. It's like loving kindness. It's one word, interbeing, interspirituality. We are all part of that same web of interbeing. And of course, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King called it a net of mutuality. That, what was the quote? We're caught up in an inescapable net of mutuality, and what happens to one affects all. 6 is uniqueness. This is an interesting one. It's said in Jewish mysticism that we are each created absolutely with our own special stamp, our own fingerprint or snowflake pattern. Nobody, even though we are all the same, there's an equality of beingness, there's also a uniqueness of each individual being. And that's a beautiful thing to be celebrated. It's kind of like when we speak about unity and that we're all one, that should not diminish the power and beauty of how different we all are, including all the world's religions. We don't want to homogenize, we don't want to throw them into the blender and homogenize them into a tasteless mush that nourishes no one. Maybe it's nourishing, but it's not fun to eat. Maybe not even digestible. What's beautiful about the world's wisdom ways is their diversity and their cultural richness. So when we speak about oneness, we're not minimizing the beauty of our diversity. And so this value of uniqueness, number 6, is relevant to the justice conversation in so far as it's said that not only are we born to repair this world, to mend the broken world, the torn world, tikkun olam, value number 1, but that we are given at birth our unique gift that we are meant to share with the world. So you have your special thing that you are meant to be and do and share, give in this world. Don't worry about it. Like, what's mine to do? It's so big. The suffering is so great. What can I do? Tune in. This is where contemplative practice comes in handy. A little meditation wouldn't kill you. Tune in, get quiet, ask, what is mine to do and be and give in these terrible times? Hint, it's probably hiding in plain sight, and it's something that you already love to do and that you're already good at. 7 is right speech. Well, I'm calling it right speech from Buddhism. It's using your words responsibly, lovingly, intelligently. I was just looking at the this Unity card. I'm not Unity. It's a Community of Love card that you all made. And here, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. And I really appreciated that the word intelligent was in there. Normally I would say, okay, this is about the heart, not the mind. The rest of the society is always emphasizing the head. Let's stay with the heart. But here I was like, oh yes, thank you for saying intelligent, because so much religion, especially in America, is mindless, anti-intellectual. Don't use critical thinking, because it might lead to acts of justice. So this value of right speech includes using your intelligence to use your speech engaging your intelligence to use your speech in such a way that it at least doesn't cause harm and hopefully does some good. As a writer, this is really important to me. I choose my words with utmost care. I still mess up, I still leave things out, I still have a potty mouth, but I try to engage in what Buddhism calls right speech. It's one of the eightfold path. It's really important in Buddhism too, another path of 8. So conversely, the power of hateful language to cause harm is what we're seeing normalized in the greater culture right now. So we get to antidote that with intelligently kind, loving speech that contributes to mending the world, always coming back to Tikkun Olam. And finally, number 8 is caring for strangers. This is an essential core value in Judaism. Care for the stranger among you, for you were strangers in Egypt. We were also strangers in the Holy Land, but we forget that. And so much of the suffering that we see is the male animals pissing on the plants, to mark their territory. I see it as kind of that. But that's, a trite way of saying something that is incredibly serious and doing great harm. So, how do we recognize that we all belong, that the earth is not ours, we are hers, and all beings who dwell upon her have a right to an equal share of her bounty and deserve to be treated at least as cousins, if not as siblings. So if Hanukkah means rededication, what we're interested in doing in this season of solstice and Hanukkah and Advent is rededicating ourselves. Jenny talked in her meditation about what little seed do you want to plant in these few days left before the solstice. This is your time to, if you haven't already, befriend the darkness, the mothering, nurturing dark, and plant your seeds of intention so that the light may break through and flood the world. and banish the shadows. What's in your heart to cultivate going forward? And how may you allow yourself to not turn too quickly toward the light right now, but really be with it in an intimate, even erotic way. I want to just end by sharing something that my friend Rabbi Rami Shapiro shared in his blog yesterday. So he also is reclaiming the 8 nights of Hanukkah. And he's saying, this is Judaism and this is not. And he's mostly speaking to Jews, but really this is for everybody. First night, this is Judaism. When you find an ox your enemy has lost, you must return it. Exodus 23:45. This is not. IDF soldiers seized cattle from a Palestinian family and gave them to Israeli settlers. Haaretz. Second night, this is Judaism. What is hateful to you, do not do to another. This is the entire Torah. Talmud. This is not. Israeli settlers set fire to a Palestinian warehouse as West Bank attacks surge. Third night, this is Judaism. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. Deuteronomy 16:20. This is not. Israeli lawmakers pass a key law to weaken the judiciary despite public outrage. Fourth night, this is Judaism. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue peace. Psalm 34. This is not. Israeli organizations conclude Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Fifth night. This is Judaism. Love the stranger as yourself. Leviticus 19:34. This is not. Settlers using IDF weapons shoot Palestinian women. Others trespass, throw stones in 3 separate incidents. Sixth night. This is Judaism. Do not make war against trees. Are trees armed soldiers who come against you? Deuteronomy 20:19. This is not. Savage beatings and dying trees, how West Bank settler violence is impacting Palestinian harvest. Seventh night. This is Judaism. Do justly, act kindly, walk humbly with your God. Micah 6:8. This is not. Israeli settlers torch a mosque and scrawl hateful messages despite official condemnation. Eighth night. This is Judaism. Among the things God hates, hands that shed innocent blood and feet that run to do evil. Proverbs 6:17. This is not. Probe uncovers out-of-control Israeli police force going after non-violent protesters. So as we close, I want to read the prayer, school prayer one more time. This is, in my understanding, I haven't checked it, it's a version of the Bodhisattva vow of Buddhism. So for those of you familiar with the vow, to dedicate oneself to staying on the wheel of births and deaths and rebirths, the wheel of samsara and nirvana, the wheel of samsara. This is, I think, a version of that. So listen with your heart and your body as I close. In the name of the daybreak and the eyelids of morning, and the wayfaring moon and the night when it departs, I swear I will not dishonor my soul with hatred, but offer myself humbly as a guardian of nature, as a healer of misery, as a messenger of wonder, as an architect of peace. In the name of the sun and its mirrors and the day that embraces it, and the cloud veils drawn over it, and the uttermost night, and the male and the female, and the plants bursting with seed, and the crowning seasons of the firefly and the apple. I will honor all life, wherever and whatever, in whatever form it may dwell, on earth my home, and in the mansions of the stars. Thank you. Namaste. I honor the light within you.